However, knowing your grade depends on the completion of the outline and hoping to get at most 4 hours of sleep. Through my audience analysis, I know that over 90% of you struggle to some degree with waking up in the morning. Whether this is the effect of staying up too late, waking up too early, or feeling like you didn't get enough sleep, even if you did, I think we can all agree that this is not how you want to start your morning. By implementing a policy for later school start times, this would give students sleep cycles, physical and mental health, well-being, and academic performance the opportunity to improve. Today, with scholarly articles from an array of PhD graduates and researchers, I will reveal the need for, solution to, and benefits of later school start times, especially in the numerous schools across the country that start as early as 7:15 in the morning. First, I'll be discussing the main drive behind a later school start time, which is adequate sleep among students. You all know the recommended amount of sleep is 8 to 10 hours per night, but did you know that only 14% of U.S. teens actually get this amount, and over 70% don't even reach this? Julia Bogers explains this in Benefits of Later School Start Times. Additionally, thanks to Greta's generosity, I know that over 75% of you do not believe you get the recommended amount of sleep per night. These statistics are, the primary cause of these statistics are no mystery, however. It's a late early school start time. Now you may be wondering, yeah, that's great and all, but I can just go to bed earlier and then I can wake up in time for school, right? Studies show this isn't necessarily the case. In their article, What Time Should Middle and High School Students Start School?, Unser et al. State, the biological drive to sleep late and the societal drive to wake up early create a mismatch that prevents students from getting the recommended 8 to 10 hours of sleep they need. To get this recommended amount of sleep, students who naturally fall asleep at around 11 p.m. need to wake up from anywhere from 7 to 9 a.m. Even for the two of you who consider yourself a morning person through my audience analysis, you may be struggling with waking up early and getting the necessary amount of sleep if it doesn't line up with your sleep cycle. Bogers explains this by saying, even for teens with impeccable sleep hygiene who are able to power down at night, they are essentially programmed to fall asleep later. This means that if the amount of time you sleep doesn't line up with your sleep cycle, you'll still feel drowsy in the morning. Chan et al. Describes some of the negative effects of sleep deprivation, and delayed school start time is associated with better sleep, daytime functioning, and life satisfaction in residential high school students. By saying, chronic sleep deprivation can cause harm to the physical and mental health of an adolescent. Furthermore, sleep deprivation is associated with daytime sleepiness, which contributes to cognitive and behavioral problems and impacts academic performance. Parallel to this, Nathaniel Watson, who was interviewed by Tim Gorel in Sleep Now, Learn Later, explains the potentially harmful lasting effects of sleep deprivation while talking about the development of habits as a teenager. It's just like not brushing your teeth. It's a habit that's difficult to break, and if you continue to leave sleep among your lowest priorities, it's highly possible that will follow you for the remainder of your life. Now, after hearing this, you may be thinking, well, I wake up early and I feel alright and I'm not struggling mentally or academically, so I must be fine. This isn't necessarily true. With an early school start time, you could be more at risk from others who are less fortunate and more drowsy than you on the road. According to Robert Foss et al., in School Start Times and Teenage Driver Motor Vehicle Crashes, over the course of a 4-year experiment, they found a 14% decrease in overall teenage crash rates in the county. This brings an average of 3.5 crashes per month to just over 2 crashes. Now, who knew that sleeping in could save you from getting into a car accident? These nasty effects of sleep deprivation can easily be avoided with one solution: a later school start time. Through my audience analysis, many of you said no to the question, should school start later, because of the corresponding later end time. But a change to just 8:30 a.m. would provide students with enough time to go to bed at 11 and get the 8 to 10 hours of sleep, and would interfere far less with sports and extracurriculars after school, because school would end at anywhere from 3:30 to 4. Many of you may have originally thought that a later school start time would interfere with sports, but hopefully with this you can understand that it doesn't. Another common concern among schools is the issue of bus transportation. This comes with an easy fix as well. Switching to elementary school start times and middle and high school start times would align with each group's circadian timing system respectively. Watson says, younger children have different physiology. They get up earlier, they can start school earlier, and they need to go to bed earlier. In the study conducted by Foss et al. In North Carolina, sleep diaries of high school seniors showed that after a delay in the school's start time from 7:30 to 8:30, the students slept an average of 0.7 hours more, disproving the theory that students' sleep cycles would simply be delayed and they would fall asleep later in the evening. Another study of schools in Minneapolis, Minnesota, revealed that moving the start time from 7:15 to 8:40 allowed for nearly an hour more sleep each night, according to voters. Now, although many people may disagree with the later school start time, such as the authors of later school day start times are problematic to implement despite the benefits, who explain the interference with sports, busing schedules, and childcare arrangements, the benefits far outweigh the drawbacks. These benefits relate to the health, safety, academic performance, and overall quality of life of students. Lower rates of depression, anxiety, car crashes, dropouts, absences, drowsiness, and tardies, and improvements in sports performance and standardized testing scores all relate to a later school start time. Vogers gives this and an explanation of the circadian timing system in her article. A later school start time supports the delayed biological drives in teens, which is a result of the delayed circadian timing system, which is in charge of when the body